Hi everybody, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to Agriculture and Rural Development Current Affairs series that is currently going on for NABARD Grade A 2025 exam. And the aim of this series is to cover weekly the news that are related to ARD, which can be directly asked in your objective or multiple choice question format, or in fact the fodder that you can use in your descriptive answer writing. And sometimes we pick up such news which are related to ARD, might not be that relevant from examination point of view, but yes, it's good to cover them. That would help you to develop this interest of you in the ARD domain, and also somewhat what NABARD it caters to. So in today's session, first we are going to look at a very important, very important, I would say, news, and directly multiple choice questions are asked from it, where we will study about the new MSP that has been released for the Kharif crops for the year 25-26. After that, we will look at that there was a conference that has happened in Peru, and then it was said that India might soon become world's leading producer for potato. Currently, we are second in number, so we will have a brief overview of it, and also we will talk about one report has been launched by the World Organization for Animal Health, right? So we will look at what was the finding of that report and everything. Okay, starting off with first and the most important news that cabinet approved the increased MSP. Means first of all, what is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs? So basically a committee has been set up which take care, and they come up with the resolutions, anything that is related to economic sector in India. So what they have done, they have increased the minimum support price for the 14 खरीफ क्रॉप्स. अब देखो एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन कैसे कैसे बन सकते हैं. डायरेक्ट अगर जब बनना होगा, दे वुड डायरेक्टली आस्क यू लाइक व्हाट इज MSP for paddy, what is MSP for maybe tor dal, etc, etc. If they want to go one step deeper, they might ask you that for how many how many kharif crops are there for which MSP is given. So keep in mind that for 14 kharif crops in the year marketing season of year 25-26, आपको जो MSP निकाले गए हैं. What is minimum support price? So basically this concept, it was originated way back when we were having green revolution. So basically initially that we had farmers were doing cultivation, but still it was not sufficient to fulfill the people's need, right? And we were relied on the foreign countries to get some grain, and specifically USA. But then what happened, USA, because we were heavily dependent on them for the wheat, which is like the staple food in India, for the major states of India, right? Wheat and rice, these are the major staple food, and we were predominantly dependent on USA. And what the political these things started to happen, that USA, they started to enforce their decision on us, that how we should go for geopolitical relations with other countries, right? But at that time, then Dr. Lahar Bahalu Shastri, he was against it, of course. So he then initiated this wave of green revolution in India, and the aim was for the farmers to promote, for them to promote more and more staple grains that we consume, wheat, right, rice, etc. Like from these two it was started, so that yeah, so he wanted the farmers to grow these two crops, right? But now how to promote farmers? There has to be some security, because farmers, they were a bit skeptical. What if nobody buys our grains? What if nothing happens? What will we do then? So that is why government, they came up with the concept of MSP. This was a guarantee that was given to the growers, that is the farmers, that you don't worry, if nobody buys your crop, we will buy it. So this is how the concept of MSP, it originated. Okay, and then some of the crops were added, and now in fact if you look at it, a lot of millet and a lot of good MSP is given for the pulses. Why is it so? Why not that much for paddy rice? Paddy means your rice basically, paddy or wheat, because now a lot of farmers are growing that crop and they know that there is a market for it. But very few farmers are going for pulses, and now we are dependent on foreign countries for pulses, hana. But we have the land, we have the capacity, definitely we can become self-reliant, but we need to focus on that. And that is why what government has done, of course, they have increased MSP for all the crops, 14 crops that come under the kharif season. Kharif season is your monsoon season, and MSP is always released before sowing, so that farmers can know, okay, in this particular crop I would have better revenue, so let me just grow that. And that is why he might think that, okay, pulses have more MSP, so let me just go for it. Okay. तो ये कंसेप्ट है एमएसपी का. एंड इवन दो लाइक द फॉर ऑल द 14 क्रॉप्स द एमएसपी इज गिवन, बट हायर इज नाउ गिवन on the crops which the government wants farmers to grow more so that we can move towards self reliance. ठीक है, तो ये बेसिक कंसेप्ट है एमएसपी का. एंड या इट्स ऑल्सो लाइक इट्स अ नॉर्म दैट नो बडी कैन like buy the crops below MSP. Like MSP is that minimum standard that the buyers have to meet if they have to buy something from the grower, that is the farmers. तो अभी की बात करें, these are the three tables that you have to look at, all very important. You cannot pick up or choose between okay this crop I will do, this I won't do. No, all are very important. So paddy is of two type. देखो first of all what is paddy. Rice is your like white grain that you have seen, right? But before that, when it is still on the plant, so above that white rice grain that you see, there is like one husk, brown husk that is there. Okay, so what is paddy? When you have like this husk plus this grain, so it's known as paddy. So when the husk is not removed, it is called paddy. As soon as it is removed, then you call it a rice grain. Okay, तो पैडी भी दो टाइप के, एक आपका कॉमन पैडी जो नॉर्मली दैट इज बीइंग ग्रोन बाय द farmers, but then there is a grade A quality also. It is longer in size, it has better aroma than the common variety. It tastes a little bit better, right? So it is a little upgraded variety. ठीक है, तो government has said that if you're going for the common paddy, we are going to provide you with this MSP of 2369 rupees per quintal. But if you're going for grade A variety, we will provide you 2389, little bit increase. Like if you look at the comparison, ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत इंक्रीमेंट तो है ही. सेकेंडली इज अबाउट जौर. जौर भी दो टाइप का, आपका एक हाइब्रिड है, एक आपका मालडांडी है, इसके लिए 3699 एंड 3749 है. बाजरा के लिए 2775 रुपीज पर क्विंटल. रागी 4886 एंड देन मेज आपका 2400. ठीक है, अगेन आई वुड से प्लीज, आई वुड वांट टू एम्फसाइज, please memorize it again. Let's just do a revision. Paddy common for it is your 2369, then your paddy grade A 2389. Or what you can do, you can go for around range also, like for paddy you can say it is around 2300, right? And somewhat near to 2400. By this, even if you do, it increases your chances to memorize. So for paddy it's like around 2300, right? But then you go specific, 2369 rupees for paddy and 89 for grade A. Then if you go for jor, so it is around your 3600, right? Or 3700, 3600 याद रखो, क्योंकि ये digit याद रखो, don't go for round off. Otherwise if there will be any value 7 1 2, so you might go for this option in the exam, right? So go for 369, and so around 3600 was for the hybrid, that is your 3699. If you go a little bit in depth, और मालडंडी के लिए कितना है 3700 का around 49 rupees. ठीक है, बाजरा is your near 27 around 100 rupees 2775. रागी आपका ज्यादा है because then it's a millet, right? As I said कि millet के लिए थोड़ा extra दे रहे हैं so that more people can grow it. 4486 and maize is 2400. Then if you go for pulses now, if you see in the previous case it was like 2000 3000, right? But now if you look at for pulses, it is so high. ठीक है, in fact if you look in the pulses and cereals category, pulses की category में सबसे ज्यादा मूंग को 8768 दिया है, right? तूर अरहर की बात करें 8000 है आपका, उड़द कितना आपका 7800. ऑयल सीड्स की अगर हम बात करें तो ग्राउंडनट आपका है 7063. अब व्हाट आर ऑयल सीड्स? दीज आर सच क्रॉप्स फ्रॉम विच ऑयल इज एक्सट्रैक्टेड. जैसे ग्राउंडनट आपका क्या होता है, मूंगफली, राइट? सो फ्रॉम दैट वी हैव ग्राउंडनट ऑयल, सनफ्लावर ऑयल, सोयाबीन ऑयल, सेसमे इज तिल, तिल का तेल, राइट? एंड नाइजर सीड इज ऑल्सो वन सॉर्ट ऑफ a सीड जिससे तेल निकाला जाता है. नाउ इवन इफ यू लुक एट इट, दैट their MSP are also high. Why? Because we are depending on for palm oil and other oils in other countries also, right? So that is why you will see that we are still providing MSP for the previous crops. However, the rate are now like normal rates, right? But if you go for the pulses and oilseed, the rates are so high. That is because now the government wants farmers to focus on these things. ठीक है, ऑयल सीड का, सनफ्लावर सीड का देखोगे 7721, सोयाबीन 5328, इसमें 9846 और नाइजर 9537. ठीक है, कमर्शियल क्रॉप्स की बात करें, कमर्शियल क्रॉप्स मतलब में आपके कॉटन जो खरीफ क्रॉप के अंडर आते हैं. एंड इट्स ऑफ अगेन इट्स ऑफ टू टाइप. वन इज मीडियम, लाइक द लेंथ ऑफ द फाइबर इज लाइक मीडियम बट लॉन्ग स्टेपल एज द नेम सजेस्ट. ठीक है, ज्यादा होता है. 7710 इज फॉर कॉटन एंड 11810 इज फॉर the long stipple. I do understand it's a lot of data, but this is something, I'm sorry, but that you have to do, and it's very very important. There are high probability every year there is a question either from your MSP or from your advanced estimates. Advanced estimate also they keep on updating, right? So we will cover it whenever it will be in news, but as of now you have to cover the MSP. It's very important. I would recommend that do it now only. Just pause the video, memorize whatever you can, and then we have some questions at the end of the session, then you can try to attempt them. ठीक है, तीनों को अभी पॉज करके अभी याद कर लो. Next is about India to become world's leading potato producer. So basically one conference happened in Peru, and the topic was root and tuber crop research and development in India and South Asia. And like then scientists, they have done their research, and they have said that by 2020 2050 India could soon overtake like China, and by 2050 it is expected that the annual output in India it will touch 200 million tons. Currently it's 60 million tons. Okay, so it's expected that in 2050 it might almost nearby it will double. Okay, and currently we are the second largest producer, but we might overtake the first ranker, that is China. And it has happened like then it was a little bit research was about how it why or how it would be achieved, because we are going for more climate resilient varieties, we are improving our storage facility, our machines are getting improved with time, right? So all these things lead to the productivity. तो इन्हीं सब चीजों के ऊपर बात करी, and in that it was also like highlighted that Indian government is also focusing on this particular thing and promoting diversification. Again it touches somewhat, it you might understand this concept related to your first news, where we observed that government they want now diversification in growing. That is why they are providing MSP more for oil seeds and your pulses, right? So what does the government is aiming? Basically now it wants diversification in crops. And when it comes to vegetables, because whatever we have studied those were like your field crops, right? But now if we talk about your vegetables, here also government they are promoting diversification. ठीक है, potato mission चल रहा है, and the major focus is in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, because यहाँ पे आपका ज़्यादा और better cultivation होता है. ठीक है, बिहार और उत्तर प्रदेश में इसलिए ज्यादा इसमें फोकस दिया जा रहा है. ठीक है, यू कैन यूज सच इंफॉर्मेशन इन योर fodder, descriptive fodder material, that how like for example like what the government is doing, right, to improve agriculture in India, right? Or you might add how the latest technology like climate resilient varieties या mechanization, they are increasing the productivity. So such in such sort of questions you can utilize this information. ठीक है, coming to the next news, and it talks about World Organization for Animal Health. They have published their global report on health and terrestrial aquatic animals. Basically how this organization it came into existence in 1924. There was a rinderpest outbreak in Belgium. Rinderpest is a cattle disease, and basically how this disease was transferred to Belgium. There was zebu cattle which belongs to actually India. It was being transported there, ठीक है, and but that particular cow was suffering from this disease, and or means the herd of cow that was going, so they were having this disease, and then there was a pandemic that has happened similar to what what you can say of like coronavirus that has happened. Sort of that situation arises. So then there was this organization, or the need to establish that organization which can monitor, which can track down, and which can control such things in future. That was suggested, and this is how World Organization for Animal Health it came into existence. वैसे अगर if you read about this particular this report that has been released, it's more of a generic, not specifically from agriculture point of view, right? But yes, you how you can utilize this information. जैसे for example इसमें लिखा था there was one of the line 130 animal diseases reported globally. Of these 116 are zoonotic. What are zoonotic disease? These are such diseases which can easily transfer between animal and humans. Like from animals this disease can travel to humans. जैसे आपका chicken pox, no, I'm sorry, like आपका that bird flu, right? Swine flu, these are the things. And in fact, corona is also one such example. And in fact, these there are zoonotic are diseases which from humans also they can spread to animals, but here major focus is like the diseases that we can catch from animals. Okay, so for example, this is the this was one of the highlight. Now how can you utilize, if you are thorough with current affairs, or if you have seen previous session, you must have observed that we have talked about it. And there are a lot of news now where the government is focusing on vaccination of these animals which are there in animal husbandry to take care of the disease spread that might happen. Okay, so how you can link about it, if such question arises on like vaccinations in your animals, okay, you can beautifully use this statement from this first global animal health report by WOAH, that 116 diseases are zoonotic which has recently been identified. So it is utter important how the vaccination drive should be taken more seriously, right? Some sort of like such line or fodder material you can add in your answer. So इन सब चीजों को आपको करना है, ठीक है, to mitigate what food security, trade and ecosystem में जो जो impact आते हैं, ठीक है, उनको उनको कंट्रोल करने के लिए. So that was one of the news. Now let's do some of the questions. ठीक है, I hope you must have memorized to much extent the MSPs by now. So what is the MSP fix for paddy for the kharif marketing season? Common, I think this is तो अभी basic से शुरू हो रहा है, तो option number C 2369 है ना, that is the correct answer. Which of the following crops has the highest MSP among the listed? ठीक है, तो अभी आपको listed में बताना है, वैसे overall नहीं पूछा है, ठीक है. You have to be smart about it sometime because questions are like that. ठीक है, if you look at it listed में अगर आप normal देखें, highest MSP among kharif crops, those are in the oilseed section, right? But it's been said in the listed, so you have to tell as per the category. ठीक है, तो ये only those can answer who actually know what are the MSP. And if you look at the recent ARD section pattern of the NABARD Grade A examination, now they have leveled up the way they are asking questions. So this is how they indirectly ask the question. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ऑप्शन नंबर डी है मूंग, दैट इज द करेक्ट आंसर. विच टू इंडियन स्टेट्स आर की फोकस अंडर द डेवलपमेंट पोटैटो मिशन विच वी स्टडीड रिसेंटली? तो यहाँ पे बिहार और आपका क्या है, उत्तर प्रदेश है. ठीक है, कमिंग टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, विच कंट्री इन इंडिया इज इंडिया एक्सपेक्टेड टू सरपास टू बिकम वर्ल्ड्स लीडिंग पोटैटो प्रोड्यूसर? सो दैट्स चाइना, राइट? ऑप्शन नंबर डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. And here's a homework for you all. Try to attempt this particular question. So that is all in this video. I hope you liked it. You can subscribe to our Telegram channel to get the PDF of this lecture and all the lectures that we provide here on YouTube. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such videos. Thank you everybody for watching and all the very best for your exam.